Hi, I'm Brazil, and today this PowerPoint is on rent instead of buy. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started, starting with the pattern. Listed as number 40 in the Business Model Navigator textbook, rent instead of buy, although straightforward, gives the customer the advantage of not having to acquire 100% of the funds to make a purchase for an item. The customer does not buy a product, service, renting it instead, which in turn allows the customer to receive items that they otherwise may have not been able to afford. This method lowers the total needed in order to have access to the item being obtained, and the companies that enable this method are able to benefit from the higher profits on each product as the product is being paid over the rental period. Um, Renting leaves customers with more financial leeway by not locking up capital for a long period of time. And rent instead of buy also expands the opportunity for greater sales potential opposed to just buying whatever item that the customer is seeking. And in the end, both the customer and provider both benefit. Okay, so let's move on to the origin. Rent to buy is a relatively old business model. Evidence as early as 450 BC suggests that Romans rented out livestock. Obviously, over time, the concept extended to many industries and items far beyond livestock, including medieval times. During those medieval times, the nobility rented land to farmers as an exchange for their crop, but these rentals were based on a class system, mainly only applying to the poor. And for a more current example, in today's society, the most common form of rent instead of buy is, of course, the real estate market. Okay, so next we have the innovators. One of, if not the first individual who can be credited for implementing the rent instead of buy business model in one of the largest industries is Joe Saunders. Joe Saunders is a man from Nebraska who can be credited with creating one of the first rental car companies. In 1916, he actually started lending his Ford Model T to local and visiting businessmen, charging them 10 cents per mile. His selection of cars eventually expanded with features in Chrysler ads dating back to the 1920s. His company expanded over 21 states. And nowadays, the rental car industry is a billion-dollar business. Okay, now moving on to one of the most notable companies and possibly the most used example of rent instead of buy in America for almost 3 decades is Blockbuster. Blockbuster was a rental service based in America. The business offered rental of videos from their physical locations, DVD by mail, and online films. At its peak, the company had 80,000 employees. Um, and actually, the demise of Blockbuster came when companies such as Netflix and Redbox became competition. Uh, as of 2020, only one physical Blockbuster location remains open, and it is located in Bend, Oregon. Sorry for the previous long pause, but okay, let's get into application. I'm sure being a current college student, we've all used this company or a company similar to it. A current day example of subscription, but also rent instead of buy is Chegg. Originally founded in 2001 by Josh Carlson, Mike Seeger, and Mark Fidlich, the company was later rebranded in 2007 by Osman Rashad and Ayush Fumbra. Chegg is an educational technology company that specializes in textbook rentals to students. The site offers both ebooks and physical copies. Okay, for the second application, we have Enterprise. Enterprise rent-a-car is a popular application in the rent instead of buy model. Named by Jack Taylor as an ode to World War II aircraft USS Enterprise, Enterprise is one of the largest providers for transportation. With more than 8,000 locations worldwide, the company offers car and truck rentals as well as car sales. Okay, so moving on. Um, Lastly, what you see pictured are just leading industries that use the rent instead of buy model. Of course, transportation has the largest percentage, and that includes your rental car companies such as Enterprise, which was just previously stated, as well as companies such as Hertz, Easy Rent a Car, and Avis Car Rental, to name a few. The other categories are consumer goods, which have about 14%, and that's followed by information technology. Okay, so and with that, we've reached the end of my PowerPoint. I hope you guys took something away from this. Continue to be safe and stay home, and thanks for watching.